Hi everyone, welcome to this Hack That Riff tutorial. Today we're going to be learning two main riffs from the song Burn the Witch by Radiohead. Now this is from their album A Moon-Shaped Pool, one of my favourite songs on the album. You'll probably notice that there's actually no piano in the song. So what I've done is I've taken some of the other instruments that play in the song. We are translating that onto the pianos that we can play. Being a pianist, I don't think that because I play piano that I should be limited to only playing songs that have piano in them, and neither should you. So we're going to learn the two main riffs out of this song. It's not too hard. You maybe need to know what the keys on the piano are called, the letter note names and sharps and flats, and you also probably should know your basic major and minor chords because that's how I'm going to be explaining everything. But you are going to see exactly what my fingers are doing anyway, so if you're someone that learns visually, then you could probably do this without any piano knowledge. As usual, if you like what you learn here and you want to learn more of the song, what you can do is go to my website, www.pianopicnic.com, and you can check out my course called Songs by Ear. In this course you actually learn how to teach yourself the songs that you love on piano, and it's a valuable skill that will get you really far in your piano journey. Let's stop talking about that though and switch to our piano vision camera angle. Let's do that right now. Right, so welcome to the top-down piano vision camera angle. If my fingers are a bit small on the view of the piano, then you can always just view that sucker full screen and then you'll be able to see what I'm doing. Let's just have a listen to that verse riff. Okay, so you would have heard those strings mostly taking over there for the verse. So we are going to kind of mimic what those strings are doing. We start off with a sort of F sharp 5 in our left hand. So basically that's the crux of the chord. We're playing between an F sharp 5 in the left hand and an E5. And those are the only two chords in this first verse riff. And the way we're going to play that is obviously the way that those strings play these notes, and that is very repetitively and quickly. So we've got 16 of each. Not sure how many of that goes through the verse, but you can listen to it and figure that out. This is just learning the riff, not the whole verse, right? So I have to leave something up to you. In the right hand, we got to get those clashes going that you hear that make that verse bit and the strings so much tension, you know? So we've got lots of clashy notes. We're actually going to start with a D sharp and a G sharp in the right hand. With that F sharp 5 chord, we have... Right, that sounds nice and clashy and lots of tension. And then the second chord, when we shift to the E5, we're going to keep playing this chord for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then we're going to add an extra note in because an extra string comes in here, and that is the E. So we're going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, and then the next chord should be the same as before actually, but we're going to change it. Instead of the right hand playing the D sharp and the G sharp, we're going to play a D sharp, an F sharp, and an A sharp. Okay, so we're just on black notes here, which is nice. We're back to the F sharp 5 in the left hand. So that's a nice sort of major chord, lovely, but then we've got this 9. Wait, no, that's the root note. We've got this sort of 6 chord tone coming in here, which makes it a little bit more freaky. And then we're doing the same thing when we change back down to the E. We're going to keep playing what we were before on the right hand for 8. And then we're going to change to just the E and the G sharp for the last 8. Okay, so let's go through that really slowly. We've got F sharp 5, D sharp and G sharp. right hand and moving our left hand down for 8, and then adding the E. Then we're going up to F sharp again in the left hand, and D sharp, F sharp, and an A sharp. And then down to E, staying on the same in the right hand. And then changing to E and G sharp, which is a nice sort of release there. We're not playing any of the freaky deaky chord tones anymore, and we're just playing a normal major chord. So I'll play that slowly all together for you. So if you want to have a practice of that before we move on, I'd pause here or go back and watch that first half again. So that's the riff in the verse. Now you repeat that a couple of times. There's a slight little difference in the fourth time that we repeat it. And then we're going into the chorus. So the chorus chords are actually not so complicated. We're talking just normal major and minor chords with maybe a seventh tracked in every now and then. The chords we're going to be playing are F sharp major, D major, E major, A major, and B major. Okay, so they're all nice major chords. It's all very nice and fluffy here. But this is the tricky part. What we're doing is we're playing inversions of these chords so that our hand can stay in the exact same place. Okay? And the reason we're doing that is so that we can have the F sharp up the top, because in all of these chords, that F sharp is the one that reoccurs, and it's the most important note, arguably, in the chorus. So we need to make sure that F sharp is continuing all the way through. So we're going to play some inversions, which just means we're playing those chords, but with the notes in different orders. So we're starting with an F sharp. And for the left hand here, we're basically just following the chords. So we're just playing the root notes of all the chords. So we've got F sharp, D, E, A, B. Now, if you want to get tricky, you can do things like add fifths. I like to add a fifth on the F sharp. So you can use your own mixture of power chords, which is the 1 and the 5, or octaves, or just use the single notes, whichever's easiest for you. Remember, we're going to be repeating it a lot, hammering the piano and playing it quite fast. So after a while, it can start to get a little bit crampy in your fingers if you're doing power chords the whole time or octaves the whole time. So just be mindful of how your hand is feeling. Don't go too hard. In the right hand, we've got our F sharp major first. But remember, we need to put this F sharp up the top here. We need that to have at the top of the chord. So what we're going to do is move this F sharp up to here. So we've got F sharp major in first inversion. Then the next chord, so we've got, so we hold that for quite a while, and then we're going to D major. So this is D major in second inversion, so that I can keep my pinky on this F sharp, remember? So our root chord is here, our first inversion is here, second inversion is here. So we've got, and then we're only on that one for a few beats, and then we're going to E major. But E major does not have an F sharp in it, but we're just going to chuck it in anyway, you know what? Because we can do what we want. So we're playing an E major in first inversion, so that's our root note, first inversion. But we're going to chuck, instead of our pinky on there, we're going to put our forefinger there so that we can put our pinky on that rogue F sharp. It's a 9, so it's not that rogue, but you know. And then we've just got a nice easy A major in root position, but again, a rogue F sharp, which is the 6 in this chord. And then the last chord is just a nice easy one. That's a B major in root position Okay, so let's run through that slowly again, just the chords by themselves. We've got F major in first inversion. We've got D major in second inversion. We've got an E major with a ninth. The E major is in first inversion. And then root position A, root position with a F sharp, sorry, and then a B major in root position as well. Okay, so I'm going to play that with the repetition that we want to be doing. Generally in the verse, I've kept both hands with the... Both are doing that. In the chorus, because there's more of a sort of a steady sort of flowing sort of feel in the chorus, I'm choosing to just play the chords one iteration and hold it in the right hand just to give that sort of slowing down feeling, but I'm keeping the repetition going, the rhythm going in the left hand. Bit in the chorus, we repeat the A and the B before we move on. So that's the chorus riff. Have a practice of that. Get it up to speed. If you listen to the original song, you'll hear that it's actually quite fast. Hope you enjoyed that tutorial. Remember that you can always go back and play it again if you didn't quite pick everything up. And if you like this tutorial, I do release videos weekly, so please hit that subscribe button so you can get all the juicy tutorials, tips and tricks, and everything to do with piano. Also, make sure you go to my website, www.pianopicnic.com. I have a free beginner piano course there and also some other juicy content for you to absorb. Okay, that's all from me, but remember to give it some practice and play it like you mean it.